I get a lot of questions about my day trading setup, so I'm going to go over everything about it, from what I use, how I use it, and I'll also show you my exact screen layout. So first, let's start with the PCs. I use two PCs, both I built myself. The one on the left is my main PC, which is the one I trade off of, and the one on the right I just use for my thumbnail charts and scanning. I'll have the specs down in the description box below, along with everything else I mentioned in this video. And then those are connected to these big ass monitors. These are not TVs, it's the LG 43-inch 4K monitors, and I have 4 of them. And I have them positioned vertically, as you can see, and I found this setup to be much more efficient because when I had them all in landscape, I felt like, I was watching a tennis match for 8-9 hours or something. And now everything is kind of in my peripheral vision and I'm able to catch things in the corner of my eye, which is good. So let me show you what I have on these monitors when I'm trading. So the middle two monitors is what's hooked up to my main PC. The left is where I do all my trading. It has all my execution boxes and my level 2 windows, and I use 3 different platforms. The main one I trade off of is Thinkorswim. So these are the active ladder windows, and underneath that is my Sterling level 2 windows. I feel I can read the level 2 the best on Sterling, so that's all I really use it for. And then underneath that, I have my E-Trade order box as a backup. They have a great short list, so if it's not available through TOS, I may be able to get it on E-Trade. And also, if anything were to happen with TOS, I would still have another platform I can trade on. And then at the bottom of the screen, I have my intraday charts. I use the 1 minute, 2, 5, 15, and the hourly. The top row is for whatever stock I want to look at. And the bottom row, I always have for the market, usually the Qs, which is lined up with the same time frames. And now if we move over to the right monitor, the charts continue to the daily, weekly, and monthly time frames. This here is the data box. I also have news open. Not that I trade on news, but I do trade gaps. And it's good to know if a stock is gapping on a secondary or a buyout or something like that. This is a TOS level 2 window, so I can easily see the spread on the stock I'm looking at, paired with the time and sales, and then a watch list I use to go over my daily gaps in the pre-market. Below that is the market ETFs to keep an eye on how they're doing that day. And then I have a couple of intraday charts on the SPY and the IWM. And then above that, I have the trading room, and then my trade summary windows for both TOS and E-Trade. I don't have one for Sterling because I don't trade on it. I also have Skype, which I use to chat with Sammy and Ifan. And then I have some watch lists up here that I populate with some of my top watches for the day. And above that are the charts I'm projecting to the room, which I use XSplit to do. So that is what's on my main PC. My scanning PC is much more simple, which is connected to the 2 side monitors, and I just fill both screens with thumbnail charts. Each screen has 65, so I have a total of 130 charts to work with. And during the afternoon session, I like to scan my entire stock universe, which has an average of about 2,500 symbols, so it helps me cycle through them much faster. So the monitors are not just for show. I do need the space for how I like to trade. And the 4 monitors are sitting on this IKEA desk. Well, technically it's a kitchen countertop. It's the Carlby, which is very popular among desk setups. And I don't know if you can notice, but it's the wide version. So it's the 42-inch width, not the 30-inch you commonly see. And I got the wider one because there's no such thing as too big of a monitor, but there is such a thing as being too close to it. So this gives me the space I need between the 4 43-inch monitors so that I have the right distance for my eyes. Which is another reason I like to have these vertically, because it all fits on this very desk. And that's important because the frame is a sit stand from the uplift desk. So when I'm sitting, I use this Herman Miller Embody chair, but most of the time I like to trade standing up, so this allows me to switch back and forth. And when I'm standing, I like to use this standing mat, which helps reduce fatigue. And other things I have on my desk is my Philco keyboard with Cherry MX Brown switches that I replaced with some keycaps I found on Amazon. Again, I'll link everything I mentioned below. I also have a wrist rest for my mouse, which is a Corsair Harpoon, which is hooked onto something called a mouse bungee. And since I have 2 PCs, I use a program called Mouse Without Borders, which allows me to use one keyboard and mouse on all 4 monitors, which is pretty cool. But that doesn't mean I shouldn't stay ready with another pair in case something were to go wrong. And I also have my tea candle to set the mood, and my share sizing sheet, and a picture my son painted, and some random candid photo of us eating In-N-Out or something. And then to the left of the keyboard, I have a programmable keypad from Xkeys. This is what I use to execute on my trades. I have all my hotkeys programmed into it for both toss and E-trade, and this allows me to trade with one hand. And then this is a mini stream deck for switching between what I'm projecting to the room. I also have a calculator for when I need it. And these are my blue light glasses from Ray-Ban. These are an essential when you're looking at screens all day. And then a remote for my monitors. And as for my headset, I use this Audio-Technica broadcast headset because in case there's any issues with my main mic, I have a backup mic on the headset itself. And the main mic I use is the Shure SMB7, and it's held by some boom arm I found on Amazon. And the mic is connected to a cloud lifter, then to a mixer, which goes into the main PC. Which brings us to a full circle, and this entire setup is all connected to two backup power supplies, one on each side. So in case there's a power outage, this will give me about 15 minutes of power to close out of any positions or whatever. And yes, this has saved me a couple of times. And the cherry on top is that I have two internet providers because outages can happen, so I doubled down on that as well. So that's my current day trading setup. If you found this to be helpful, please like the video. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to ask them down in the comments below. As always, I appreciate you for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.